Hey guys, welcome to a quick review on the OG EROS EDP and the successor, the Flame EDP. Um, these aren't nothing new. I know it's been a while. I've just forgotten to do a video on these or anything like that. But I really thought that they were so versatile that they really deserve to be spoken about. Um, Let me just quickly talk about the EROS EDP first, and then we get to the Flame. This one is my second bottle. I had one which I finished off a couple of years ago, and then this one I got it earlier during 2025. This one's a tester, as you can see there. It's a tester bottle. I think I got this one for about $40, so $40. Um, I thought it was a great price. I mean, I'm pretty happy paying $40 for this guy. Super versatile, sweet, fresh, everyday blue. Isn't too overly citrusy or cloyingly sweet. Even though it has those vanillic note, it has a slight vanillic note, very very minor. It's not nothing close to the way vanilla is used in scents nowadays. Over the top and cloying and nothing like that. Super well balanced. Great everyday scent, office, play, whatever, evening, mainly oriented towards summers. I would say summers, fall, spring. Maybe, if your winters aren't too chilly, you could still pull this one off. Great scent. I would say it's masculine leaning, mainly probably suitable for the younger demographic, 15 and over, I would say, maybe under 35. But I mean, you could use this. Anyone could pretty much. If you enjoy it, go for it. I mean, it's such a great price nowadays. The price is almost something like, these, like the Middle Eastern scents that are coming out now. Yeah, it pretty much is in the same price bracket for this one. So you can't go wrong with this. Um, so that's the, Eros EDP, the OG. And then came this boy. So when the Flame came out, I actually got like a 5 ml. I think it was a 5 ml official sample of this one. Um, I was I was actually pleasantly surprised, because this one just has that amped up spiciness. I mean, when I say amped up, it's nothing crazy. Again, it's not over the top. It's not over the top, and it also has a slightly elevated spice in it. Um, so the spice and the woody notes. So it has an elevated woody note and also has elevated spices. So it becomes a little more enjoyable. It has a little more. You feel it has more character to the compared to the Eros EDP. So this one was a little more enjoyable to me. It was like a nice successor. It was like an enjoyable successor. It was in the same. They're in the same realm. They're not off, but this one is just a little more enjoyable, which is why you can see I got like the 200 mil of this. I think paid like $70 for this. I got this one fairly recently. I would say September of 2025. Yeah, it was $70. This is the retail unit. I don't think you get testers in the 200 mil. So let's just do a quick spray so that I could just show you the sprayer. There's nothing to complain about. Let's get that in frame. Yep, there you go. See that? So it's a good spray. It does the job. Nothing to complain about at all. You don't need one of those, modern day pressurized atomizers and the likes of. This one gets the job done pretty well. Nothing to complain about the sprayer and the bottle. I mean, I like these bottles, by the way. Nice square bottles. The design, I mean, they do have. You have the Eros Energy as well, which has the same design. But coming back to the Eros Flame, for me, this one's it. Because I think at this point the Eros EDP is nice. It's totally enjoyable, but it has no oomph. There's just nothing special coming out of that. This one has a slight elevation in those woody notes and the spices, and I'm beginning to enjoy this a lot more. I think the performance, projection, and sillage wise, I think they're about the same. But I feel you will feel this one lasts a lot longer, the Flame, because the woody notes and the spices, and then the vanillic note as well is all even the vanillic note is slightly amped up now in this. So I feel you will feel like this one has a longer performance or a better performance projection wise and sillage wise and lasting skin on clothes. You'll still feel, or I feel, that this one's a little better overall performance wise. Now, having said that, this guy's no slouch. He's still really good. I mean, if I'm going to give this guy like 8 points, I would probably give this guy 8.5. It's something like that. They're that close. But for me, at this point of time, considering my collection is fairly substantially grown from the first time I had gotten this guy, which is I think about, I don't know, 5 years ago, something like that. Yeah, maybe 5, maybe more actually, not even 5. So I think at this point of time, for me, the flame is a lot more interesting for me. I could use this one summer, fall, spring, you could pull this off. Probably in the peak summers, if you have like, serious, intense summers, I would say probably just dial down the number of sprays on this guy. This actually, you could pull this off in winters, probably not crazy harsh winters or something like that. But, general winters, if your temperature is around, like, say, even up to 10 degrees centigrade or maybe 8, I still think this guy can pull through because, the spices and the woody notes, gives this a little more oomph. So you would be better off with the flame. So for me, overall, I find this one to be more versatile, more enjoyable. And yeah, I'm just going to stick with the flame in, between these two, I mean. But when you talk about summers, of course, you have the Eros Energy. I think I made a video on the Eros Energy as well. Yeah, that's your high citrusy dominant scent. It's not balanced. I would still consider this guy to be a lot balanced. The Eros Energy for me is just super citrusy. I mean, it's just one of those days when you really feel like having that citrusy scent with you, then you probably can go for the Eros Energy. But apart from that, for me, this guy is the most prominent all-rounder in the entire Eros line, at least for now. The Najim, I'll make a video on that guy as well very soon, but that one's definitely not for summer. I would say that's something more like towards the cooler months, and winter, of course. But yeah, of these two, I would currently stick with the flame. I would probably rebuy the flame, also considering the price point. So the value proposition is pretty good. You should get this guy, the 200 mil, at around the $70 thing. So I would say if you're still on the fence about trying, with the flame, get a sample or get a small decant, which I'm pretty sure you'll find it super easily anywhere. Get that and then straight away go for a 200 mil because this is the best value proposition. When you get the 200 mil at $70, then this one's pretty good, unless you have a crazy big collection or something and you just absolutely are sure you're never going to go through a 200 mil, then you can get the 100 mil. So all right guys, having said all that, that's my review. Thanks for watching. Bye.